Welcome back to my channel. It is Candace with the K here, where I normally talk books, beauty, and kicks. It's been a while since I've given you any type of school education update, so I thought it would be time to do that now, but to also kind of say, and now what? Okay, so in this video, I'll be talking about my experience as a PhD, and if you are on that same journey, what's next? So if you are considering a PhD, have gone through the PhD, and still are trying to decide on what your next steps are, please be sure to keep watching so I can share my experience. The theme for 2025 is health and wellness, and I'm relying on Black Girl Vitamins to help me do just that. I recently picked up these vitamins that are going to help me be the best that I can be this year. So, of course, I got the collagen powder, which will help with gut and also making sure that I look my young, youthful self. Now, I also got the vitamin D supplement as well as the hair, skin, and nail supplement. These are both gummies and they are absolutely delicious and they are perfect to add to my vitamin routine. Once again, the theme is health and wellness, and I'm doing everything to make sure that I'm my best self this year. You can use the code Candace20 to also get a discount from Black Girl Vitamins. Be sure to go get yours today. So many people don't know this, and I often don't lead with it, but in 2021, I obtained my Ph.D., which is a doctorate in education, where I studied the media representations of Black women. Okay, so that's very high level. Okay, this is my whole dissertation right here, and that is fighting an uphill battle, Black undergraduate women navigating higher education while acknowledging and challenging media representations. The whole title don't even fit on here. But this is my good old dissertation. Every single word written by yours truly. And so it's now been 3+ years since I defended this bad boy. And if you are like me, you're kind of like, okay, I've got this degree, now what? I'm still navigating and figuring out what this life has in store for me when it comes to my degrees, because I keep going back to school. I am actually in an MBA program, so I'm receiving a Master's of Business Administration with a focus on data analytics, because that's kind of where my path has now taken me. So to give you a little backstory, I did think I was going to be a professor. I thought that I would be lecturing to the masses and teaching the kids of the future. And I still think those might be in the cards for me, but just maybe not so much at this moment. I had to really decide on what I wanted to do with my life. And for me, I'm young, I'm a hot girl. I want to be in the streets right now. As many academics know, when you put yourself on the job market, you have to be willing to move. And at the time, and still now, I'm not in a position where that is of interest, especially if I have no say-so in where I'm going. So I live in Los Angeles. There's really nothing better than California. Like, we have our troubles, we have our issues, but we also have good weather, and that's something that I'm not ready to compromise on just yet. At the time of completing my degree, I was a teacher, where I was doing lower elementary work, as well as like some tutoring and private tutoring. And after a very terrible experience doing some private tutoring and private teaching, I kind of said I'm done with education. And unfortunately, many people mistreat teachers and do not take into account the work and effort that goes into teaching. And experiencing that firsthand and seeing how people are so disposable of teachers, as well as how they don't rightfully acknowledge the effort and work that it takes to be a teacher. Like, we're not just teaching numbers and letters and etc. We are managing social interactions. We are managing erratic behavior. we are parenting and nurturing, and we're doing all these things simultaneously, and it's too much to juggle for one human. And seeing the ways in which people can just like, I said, oh no. And not to mention, you don't get fairly compensated for all that you are doing. So it's one thing to be empathetic, and it's one thing to have the heart to do it. But if I'm gonna do all of this, I need the dollar signs to show it as well. So I was unemployed for months, trying to decide, okay, what is really next for me? And as many academics know, you either go into academia or you go industry. And so I began to look for industry jobs, and that's kind of how I landed where I am now. And so with me now being in a more industry job instead of an academically focused job, I have chosen to go back to school so that I can have better business acumen. Now, that doesn't require me going to school, but I felt like it was something that could help me presently and in the future. And so it was time to go. So I would advise all academics out there to really assess what they want and at what time. So for me, it definitely was to have some financial stability, but to also still be able to conduct research. I love research, and especially me, I'm a qualitative researcher. So talking to people, asking questions, getting all in your business, that's what she's here for, okay? I love also reporting. So when it comes to like creating PowerPoints, or when it comes to creating white papers, like those are things that I like to do. At the moment, I'm going to stay on the industry side because I'm still fairly young, and that job provides me with way better work-life balance than any job in academia would. So right now, that is the path that I'm on, but I do want to teach again. So as of right now, I'm considering some adjunct work. If you know anybody in need of an adjunct teacher, holla at me. But I do eventually want to get back into adjunct work. And I also want to turn this bad boy into a fiction series, okay? So as I said from the title, this was on Black collegiate women. And so I think that writing a book might be in the cards because I love this dissertation. It's a timely and necessary book, but I don't want it to be academic-y. I don't want it to be for just academic audiences. Shout out to the people that have downloaded my dissertation and have read it, but I want to create a fiction series with all the stories. I spoke to over 30 women who, for the most part, have very similar experiences, but they were also so different. And so I want to revisit some of those transcripts, come up with some fictionalized accounts, create kind of just like this universe with my dissertation. So that's on the horizon. I think I am so much more than just a analytical brain, that I also have that creativity that I want to tap into. And so that's a part of my now what, okay, when it comes to my dissertation and my PhD and going that far. It took me forever to finish that degree, so I definitely should use it. And so I'm trying to find unique and captivating ways to do so. And writing, of course, is going to be one of them. I would love to get into more speaking engagements. And so I have to navigate on which ways to go about approaching that subject, because as of now, I don't have like a deliverable. I don't know if that's necessary, but there's just so many avenues that I've began to consider when it comes to utilizing that degree. I hope that this explanation and some of my experiences can inspire you. If you are kind of in this so what now phase, please tell me what you're thinking through and some of the things that you have considered, because this is a community in which we could bounce ideas off each other, and I could tell you like, oh, I know somebody that has done that here, connect you here. I think that's always important. We put so much time, effort, blood, sweat, tears into our work. And so it's nice to be able to share that with others, but also to inspire, right? So I'm excited to see what comes next with this. A PhD is not a walk in the park. So if there is any questions that you may have or any advice that you need, please don't hesitate to reach out. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button And I will see you in my next video. Peace.